because I can go out on the air and because you can go out on the air. Let's talk about this just briefly. Your voice, your opinion can be heard. You can podcast. You ask yourself, why not you? Exactly. Why not you? You might actually help somebody. We all have a story to tell, right? So, blog, it does not make a difference. You could talk about your job. You could talk about a field that you have an expertise in. You may be funny. You may be really smart, witty. You could be really silly. You could love having hot takes. Or you could just be not scared to speak your mind about certain subject matters. Every voice should be heard, especially in this day and age where people feel isolated, they feel insulated, they don't feel like people listen to them. This is your opportunity to see if people will indeed listen to you, if people will indeed take the time out of their lives to hear what you have to say on subject matters, be they mundane or be they of dire straits. I believe that everybody can help. They always say that everybody can help everyone, but everybody can help someone. And this is an instance you might have went through something that's pretty unique, or you might be going through something that millions of people have went through. You might have had a disease that you've conquered, alcoholism, cancer. You could have came back from have lost a limb, and you could be a source of inspiration to others in the world. And that's a part of our job. People are business people. Okay? Say that again. People are our business. We are in the business of helping people. When your days are done, the more people that you helped is going to be better for you. Discuss is some of us will never find God, but that does not mean we should stop looking. Let's get this straight off the bat. God is not lost. You might be disconnected to what you think God may be, but God is not lost, so you don't actually have to find him. If you have a God in your life, it's there. It's always been there and will always be there. But what are your expectations of this God? Are you expecting him to allow you to live forever, to never have dark days, to never lose, to never have things not go your way? Then those are your expectations. You might not find that God. You know, you might not find it in the book that you're looking at. Maybe that book is not the right book. Maybe that church or school you are going to is not the right teaching being offered. You might be going to the wrong temple, mosque, or church. Are you really counting your blessings to find God? Realizing that every breath you take, every step you take, I'm not using the Sting song, but these are real things. Every time that your mind and your mouth is in order, every time your feet, your hands, and your legs are in order, every time that you eat, you have shelter, and that you have the ability to pay your bills and to make it home safely for you and your family. Every time that you get a good health report, God is showing up. Even in the times that are bad, where you think that things are not going right, for some way or another, God is there for you. Now, I'm not here to preach to you, and I'm not telling you what to believe and what not to believe. I'm just trying to give you something to think about, because sometimes people shortchange God. They want what they see other people get. And what other people get, you watch these programs, you go to these churches, and everybody's caught up in this mass hysteria where everybody is all washed over the spirit. And you might have never had that happen to you, because I'm going to tell you now, it has never happened to me. I've been to Baptist church, I've been to Catholic church, Pentecostal church, I've been to Church of God in Christ, and I have never fell out. I've never danced the dance of dances. None of that type of stuff has ever happened for me. Doesn't mean that it's not real to the people that it's happening to. I'm not going to say that. Maybe in their moment, they really believe that what they're doing is righteous. I don't believe in it, but that's not me. And then you know what? If you want to find God, check out his biblical claims, his Quran claims, his Torah claims. He is not a liar. So he has to honor the words that are written about him to his people. And if he does not live up to the claims that are written, then you can say there's no God to find. But if you give him a chance to live out the claims that he said, the words are coming directly from his mouth, make sure that you're not reading words that come from the prophets or people just written about, but the words that are actually quoted to come from God himself. He has to follow his own commands. He has to follow his rules and regulations that he set forth. Or how could he give you rules and regulations to live by? And I don't know, maybe a religious person versus a spiritual person. And you know what? Religion comes with certain codes and conducts. Spirituality comes with a different code and conduct. Maybe there is no God in your spirituality. Maybe it's the universe. So there is things that you have to take into consideration when you look at, am I going to ever find a God? Am I ever going to be touched by a God? Am I ever going to be touched by the God, the one and true God? So you take that into consideration. You take your expectations, you take your knowledge, the wisdom that you've given, the discernment of your heart, your mind, and your soul. You add that in with what you consider to be your blessings, and you start adding, subtracting, and see where the pluses and minuses are. And I wish you the very best in your journey. I just hope that you have true expectations of what you think that you will find. Okay, and we're going to move on from that weeks off after this program, but I wanted to get this one in. If you need to reach out to me or you want to reach out to me, you know how to do it. I have my website attached to the link anywhere that you listen to this show. I would love to hear from you as always. Uh, my fan base, or the people who listen in, I can't call you fans. I'm going to call you listeners. I appreciate you each and every time you take the time out of your life to listen to me, somebody you don't know. And I can't even stress how much I appreciate it. And that brings me to the title of today's show. It's called Speak to Me. Now, the thing about telling somebody to speak to you, it's not so much that you need them to speak to you. What you need to do, and this goes for me, anything that I say right now, also, I'm reflecting back in a mirror to myself. So I'm not speaking just to you, I'm speaking to myself. When you speak or you have somebody speak to you, you must use the ability to shut up and listen so that you can hear what is being said, and you could also hear what is being unsaid. The things that are unsaid are very important. They are super important. You have to also listen so that you can learn to understand and not just reply or debate with whoever is talking. That is huge. Let me repeat that again. We learn to listen so that we can understand and not just have a reply or debate to what we just heard. We need to learn to listen to whatever our higher power is. We need to learn to listen to our spirit. If you are in the entertainment or any kind of business that has followers, likers, or subscribers, you need to listen to those people. You need to listen to your body. You need to learn to listen to your spouse. Please, parents, listen to your children. It's very important. Nobody else on this planet might not be listening or paying the proper attention to your children. And it's not the teacher's responsibility, it's not the neighbor's responsibility, it's not the people at daycare or after school program. It is the teacher's, your responsibility as a parent to listen to your children. Do not make them feel as though their voice does not count. Please. Listen to your family members. Listen to anybody who is mentoring you or teaching you. It's important to listen to your doctors, your medical, the people who are taking care of your health, dentists, eye doctors, physicians. Listen to them. Evaluate what they say and never forget. I'm going to stress this again. Listen to what is said and also listen to what is unspoken. Unspoken is very loud. Listen to your friends. Don't let their conversations just be dead air. Because if you need to get away from them, if you need to cut them off, the things that they speak will let you know what you should and should not do, who you should and should not have in your life. So we need to, when I say speak to me, that means shut up and listen to the voice that are coming into your brain waves. Just to rejuvenate myself, say, you know what? Let's take a break. Maybe people need a break from you. Maybe you need to refresh your mind, refresh your focus, get some things together. But the bottom line, people, is I am back. And I've been going through some thoughts lately. Somebody told me if you want to get more listenership, if you want to build a bigger fan base, you should be a one topic shop. Here's my thing. I'm not an expert on any one topic. I live a life that has a lot of assets or facets. I'm involved with a lot of things. I look at a lot of things. I read about a lot of things. I study a lot of things. So I am not a one trick pony. So Strange Talk with Doc will never be a one trick pony show unless I'm dealing with something directly and it's the only thing that I want to talk about. But I figure there's a world out there, and I'm not claiming to know any more than anybody else. But if I can help somebody, and I mean anybody, and I am an absolute complete nobody, I understand that. I accept that. I can live with that. In the grand scheme of things, I am nobody, just trying to help somebody, anybody, if I can. Even if that just means give you a thought, plant a seed, entertain you for a minute. That's who I am at my core. I want to go off this planet being that person, not somebody who's claiming to guide, not somebody who's claiming to know more than anybody else about a particular subject. I just like talking about a lot of subject matters because I think it keeps the brain fresh. It makes the blood flow. It keeps your creativity up. And with that being said, I'm going to move on with the regular portion of the show. Once again, this is Strange Talk with Doc. I would love for you to come by my website, subscribe if you feel like it, share, and I love comments. The thing that I like even more than somebody subscribing or sharing is another human being's feedback on what they think of what I'm keep you from playing the game. This is a quote actually by Babe Ruth, the New York Yankee baseball player from the early 1900s. But it applies to today, it applies to life, it applies to everything you do. You got to take some chances. You got to plan, prepare, perform, and have faith. If you fail, it's okay. Do your research, you study, and you perform your job. If you think about it, how did you get your job, your real job? You went out there, you took a chance, you didn't keep the bat on your shoulder, you put in a resume, you might have took a test, and you got that job. How did you get your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or whoever you may be? You took a chance, you rapped to them, you spoke to them on the phone, you didn't keep the bat on your shoulder. You got your apartment or your house by taking a chance. You went to the college that you went to by putting in an application. There was no guarantee that they were going to accept you, but you took the chance. We cannot spend life with the bat on our shoulder, being scared to even enter the game. You got to be in the game. And if you fail, if you're scared to fail, you will never reach success. Failure is a building block to success. It lets us know what we're doing wrong. It lets us know what we're doing right, what we need to correct to move forward. This applies to relationships. This applies to health. This applies to almost every form and fashion in life. I wish that you would take the chance. And I'm not saying that you aren't because I don't know your situation. You might be the biggest swinger of every pitch there is. And I don't know that. And if you are, you need to be teaching other people how to swing for the fences. It's all right to teach others who do not know what you know. That might be a gift that you have inside you. But don't take the fear. I mean, don't let fear rule you. because we are going to stumble. We're going to fall. That's why they make band-aids and bandages. That's why there's stitches to sew up the wounds of life. We're going to get them. And if you don't get any, then that means you really didn't take any chances. Every time I do this podcast, I am taking a swing at the ball that nobody will listen, that nobody will like. And this is the chance that I am willing to take to get whatever I have during a particular period of time off my chest, out of my mind, and out of my spirit. And that's what I do. And this is just a form of it. I wish you the best. I hope that you hit home runs. I hope that you actually hit grand slams that win World Series. Not just swing the bat, but that you're so damn successful that your swings count as a grand slam and you win the World Series for you and for your people. So let's move on to the regular portion. To let go of the myth that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes things in life happen for absolutely positively no good reason, unless you're one of those people who believe that uh, everything should be made into a movie, a self-help group where you're sitting in some fucking church basement, giving your life horror stories to help other people who are going through the same thing that you're going through. Unless you think that everything should be made into a book, and that one day will touch other people and lift them up. But everything is not a movie. Everything is not a book. There are some things in life that there are no reasons for. We are all going through something. Every single human being on this planet is going through something. Some people are dealing with financial issues. Some people are dealing with life and death issues. Some people are dealing with abuse issues, homelessness issues. You get the picture. We don't always get to see people's scars, and we don't always get to see people's wounds. That's why you have to be careful of the rumors, gossip, and innuendo talk. Some things in this life cannot be fixed. They have to be carried. They become your badge of honor. And that's why I say this is bullshit. You know what? Somebody going through sexual assault, a father coming in a little girl's room. There is no reason for that. We need to take this pacifier out of people's mouths that everything happens for a reason. There is no good reason for a person to be driving drunk. There is no good reason for abuse, any form of abuse, drugs, abuse of power, sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. There's really no good reason for being judgmental towards other people. There's no good reason to be self-indulgent. See, that's going to lead you to overindulging in things, feeling you're entitled to things that you're not entitled to. So we need to at least think about this. I know from a spiritual standpoint, a lot of people want to believe that everything happens for a reason. Show me the passage in the Bible where everything happens for a reason. And I will read it, I will study it, I will meditate on it and see how that fits with my life. But there are a lot of bad things that happen to good people, and they happen for zero reason. There is no reason behind it. It's just life. But to say that the myth is like I said, it is a pacifier, and you're going out of your way to make a horrible situation fit a narrative that it shouldn't fit. It's all right as a human being to say, not why me or woe is me, but to say, what the hell is going on? See, you're not even given the opportunity to say what the hell is going on because you're accepting that this bad circumstance or this set of tr- turmoil and tribulations that you're going to, you some way, shape, or form deserve it. No, you don't. That person that you see is suffering, they might not deserve it. So, what is the reason for it? It doesn't stop it from happening, it just states that there's no reasons. And as I go on to the very next portion of the show, which will start like instantaneously, I'm going to tell you about some situations that did not have to happen. There was no rhyme and there was no reason. So if you stick with me, you get to understand a little bit why I named this show what it is.